Good morning. Welcome to my YouTube channel, you guys. I'm popping on to do this unscheduled live. This weekend was my birthday. I turned 36. I know it's hard to imagine, but here we are, 36. I went to a conference for my birthday with one of my super close, dearest friends, and it was just an amazing time. And anyway, I wanted to share with you guys some things that I had taken away from the conference. And actually, when I was sitting in the conference, listening to this specific part that I'm going to share with y'all, I actually heard God say to me, "Tell your audience to fight fire with fire." And so this part of the conference had to do with something totally different than obviously what my channel is about, and helping people recover from narcissistic abuse. But nonetheless, this is what, thank you so much, Molly. Yes, I had a great birthday. But nonetheless, I really felt like this is something that everybody who's going through narcissistic abuse, who's going through the court system, family court, whatever you're doing with a narcissist, needs to hear. And so I wanted to share this with you guys. If you look in the description of this video, it's listed there so that you can kind of copy and paste it, take a screenshot of it, whatever, and make it the screensaver of your phone. I really want you guys to get this, get a hold of it and get it into your spirit so that it goes into your soul. You know, your mind, your will, your emotions are located in your soul. And it's so important that those things are in line with who you truly are. Because without those things, the way that you behave, the way that you build your life, everything is going to shift around that. So first of all, fight stands for fearless, fierce faith. You know, do you believe that God has your back in every situation, in every area of your life? Because if you do, that's going to look like something. That's going to come across in a certain way. And without that, it's going to be very hard to, thank you, Kristen. It's going to be very hard for you to maintain your tenacity through the fight that is family court. I mean, I know it personally. I help people deal with it every single day. And so, hi, thank you so much for joining, you guys. I'm so excited for you to be here with me. But anyway, these things are important. So you need to develop fearless and fierce faith. That's the only way, first of all, that you have any hope of getting through whatever situation you're in with a narcissist, because they suck the life right out of you. They suck the hope all away from you, and hoping to leave you there, right? So don't let devastation become your doctrine. You can be devastated, you can be down, you can be depressed, but that doesn't mean that that has to be your lifestyle. Don't make it something that is longer than the season it's meant for. You understand what I'm saying? Not your entire life is meant to be a struggle. And so if you find that you have been living a life of disappointment, living a life of depression, anxiety, of hopelessness, being fearful all of the time, get help. That's not the way that you're supposed to live. Okay, I stands for insight and instruction. Get this, which is exactly what I was just talking about. Get help. Get somebody who has insight and instruction to help you with your fight. If you don't get yourself around people who already carry the thing that you want to have, you're left to basically pave that road yourself when it's unnecessary. Somebody already made a road for you to drive on. You need to find that person, find that group of people, and become connected with them. That's the way that you accelerate how long you're in this season. And number two, it's how you redeem time. You know, my experience, for example, is helping other people redeem the time that it takes them to have victory in family court, which it in turn helps me, right? It lets me know that all of that stuff that I've went through wasn't for nothing. I've helped so many people accelerate the process as opposed to if they had to figure it out for themselves. So really take a hold of the people in your life. Find the people that have the insight and the instruction to help you through whatever situation you're facing. By the way, this goes even if you're not dealing with a narcissist, even if you're just having a hard time in your life, there's something that you're facing that's a struggle for you. It's not a struggle for somebody else. Find that person, get around them, hold on to what they carry, and adapt it for yourself. Okay, G stands for growth in the gospel. I couldn't agree more. This channel is faith-based, and everything that I do encompasses your body, soul, and spirit. That's the only way to do it. If you try to address one of those issues, you're always going to have lack. You're always going to have lack, right? So unless I address the entire situation, there's still going to be something missing. Somebody is still going to be in need, and so that's why I take the approach body, soul, and spirit. And you need to take, really, it should be spirit, soul, and body, because when your spiritual life is set, when your spiritual life is rooted, everything else follows that. That's the path. That is the guardrails of your life, right? So everything else is going to follow that. And I couldn't agree more. This challenge is meant to push you deeper into who you are, into the one who created you, into finding out more about your specific authority, your specific purpose. And not only that, but your bloodline's inheritance. Do you understand that generations coming through you and generations who came before you sowed something into you? And you are responsible for the culmination of those times coming together, merging inside of you. And it's important that you know what that is. If you don't know what that is, if you don't know what that looks like, then you're always left with this hole and wondering, like, what is that? By the way, I'm going to tell you how to find all of these things out, how to go deeper in these things in a minute. H stands for honor and humility. No matter what you're going through, you can still walk through that thing with honor and humility. It's important that you don't let the court system especially strip that away from you. You can start to feel very humiliated. You can start to feel very dishonored by the court system, by the things that people are asking you to reveal, the multiple questions that you have to keep answering, third-party strangers that you don't know coming in to take a look at you, take a look at how you run your family, your beliefs, your values, all that type of stuff, to decide if you're fit to be in that position or not. And I just want you to know that you are who God says you are. Just because you're in this situation doesn't diminish in any way your honor, how he honors you, how he sees you. And you should not let this make you so hardened that you don't know what it's like to walk in humility either. And T stands for truth telling. Tell your truth. No matter what's going on, no matter how many times your truth hasn't been honored, it's still important that you stand and tell what has been happening. There's different ways to do that. The method by which you tell the truth should change based off of the situation, based off of the environment that you're in. But the words, the actual truth, should not change. So for just as a quick example, so that people aren't confused about what I mean here, the way that I tell my story to, let's say, a guardian ad litem is probably going to be different than the way I'm telling my story to my best friend or my mom or somebody who's very close to me. The way that I tell my story is also going to be different than to the way that I tell the judge, because the judge is going to be asking very specific questions about me, about my life, about my kids' lives. And so I'm going to tell the truth in all of these situations, but the manner in which I share it is going to change. Feel at times I disappointed Jesus. It's just not even possible to do that. And I just hope that you know that. And that you really, again, I think it's also important to let him tell the truth to you. Truth, you can only tell the truth because you've spent time with the one who is truth. Okay? So that's what fight stands for. Now I want to get into how we fight fire with fire. So the lady who did this conference, she or this part of the conference, was saying that she felt fire was standing for families in real emergencies. And what she felt like this was being highlighted to her is to equip her in a specific field to help families who are in real emergencies, right? And I feel like that's what I do too. And this is so funny because I didn't even know that she was going to give acronyms for each of these words. But before that, God had told me fight fire with fire. So anyway, here comes the acronyms: families in real emergencies. And this is so true. There's so many families who are in real emergencies who are not equipped or who don't have the starting point to use the tools that they already have. They just don't know where to start fighting, which I just did the acronym for fight They don't have the tools and the starting point to even know how to fight fire with fire, how to even start walking out this process. I mean, it's such a shock to your system when you find out, especially in the family court arena, that there are people who will lie and get away with it, that the things the narcissist is doing is not even seen or taken seriously, that there's not immediate repercussions. All of these things fight against your true nature, right? You know that you are deserving of justice, and you know that you have a real emergency, and someone in some position should be able to reach down and touch your life, touch your children's lives, and change your situation so that you don't have to deal with this anymore. And yet finding the way to make that happen, finding the right people to come into your life to make that happen can be so hard, and it can feel so isolating, and you can feel like this is something that you're meant to lose, instead of coming into the situation knowing that you're designated, you're already destined to win that situation. So how do you fight fire with fire? Because the other acronym for fire is finding inner rest every day. And this is so important. I cannot tell you how true it is that your inner world will replicate itself in your external world. Okay? Your external world is a representation of your inner world. And if you find your outer world being filled up with chaos and disorder and confusion and abuse, those things are somewhere inside of you. I don't say this in a condemning way. I say this to tell you, you need to find time to be alone and to allow those things to get out of you. When I was at this conference, I had a vision. I want to share it with you. This was prior to, or maybe it was after, I can't remember when it was, this lady speaking about fighting and the fire. And what I saw was there was people who had two stomachs. One stomach was inside of the other stomach. And in that fake stomach, they were feeding themselves. They were literally gorging themselves on lies, on unbelief, on things that the narcissist had spoken to them, on lack, on poverty, on thinking that this is the best their life was ever going to get. And they were becoming fat. They were becoming really big because they had been eating these lies their whole life, some of them. Some of them, it had only been for a short period of time, but they had gorged themselves on these things. Okay, this must be true. I must not be good enough. I must not be enough. They started to believe the things that had been spoken about them, around them, and to them that were not truth, right? Remember, T from fight stands for truth telling. And that means telling the truth even to yourself. Even if you're the only one sharing that belief, you're the only one telling yourself like you are not crazy. This is truly happening. This is the right thing to do. This is what I'm going to do moving forward to share my story. Even if you're the only one is telling yourself the truth, it's still important that you're telling yourself the truth. So anyway, I saw that these people were getting super fat, really big, because of these lies that they were eating. And I saw that not only the only way to be, and they were malnourishing themselves because their real stomach wasn't getting filled up with anything nutritious. There was no good stuff that was coming into the real stomach. And I saw that the only way that you would truly be ever free of any of this, the lies, the disappointment, the words, the identity that the narcissist or others had spoken over you, was if you got rid of that entire pouch, like the entire fake stomach had to go. There can be no place. This is what I teach my clients too, by the way. You will never win in court with a narcissist if you have stuff in common with them. If you have stuff in common with them, you're not going to win. Okay. This is why I refuse to teach manipulation tactics. I will not ever teach you about coercive control or any other things to do what the narcissist is doing to them. I will never teach you that because it's not effective and it's not sustainable. I want you to be totally free. I want you to have enough space to actually hold truth and all good things, all nutritious things that come to you. So I saw that the only way to actually be free from this is to get rid of that fake stomach so that there can be no place for these things to even land. Okay? If somebody is coming to try to feed you lies, try to feed you unbelief, disbelief, doubt, whatever it is, discouragement, any type of negative thing, that there wouldn't even be a place in you to hold that. It's impossible for you to eat it if there's no place for you to hold it. And I sense so strongly for so many of you, you need to actually it's not just about like getting rid of the lies or whatever one by one. You actually need to get rid of the ability for these things to even have a place to land on you. You shouldn't even have the opportunity. These things should not even, they come and they bounce right off of you. They just disperse away from you because there's no space for you to even hold them. Okay? That's how I feel like I don't do enough. Yeah, and if you don't learn how to rest, right? If you don't have finding time to rest every day, you will remember the second fire stands for finding internal rest every day. You need to get to a place where you are at peace with yourself, because your external world is a reflection of your inner world. So if you're not at peace with yourself, how would your world be at peace with you? You're not at peace with yourself. You need to, I love the title. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus, who gave it to me. If you're not at peace with yourself, how will your world be at peace with you? Nothing in your life will be at peace or change until you become at peace with yourself and you change internally. You want to change your external world. You want to change the direction of your court case, of your family situation, of your business, of whatever it is that you have that's going wrong. You need to do this on that scale. You need to apply this to whatever it is that is going wrong in your life. Do you think this concept could be contributing to my poor appetite? Okay. Remember how I started at the beginning saying body, soul, and spirit, all these things are connected. You cannot separate one from the other, and you can't see a result in one area without changing all of them. This is why. If you have a physical problem, by the way, there's a spiritual reason. There is something else happening. We do live in a world where there's germs and there's diseases and there's things that go wrong, but that always originates in the spirit. You need to find out where that is. And I believe the things that we experience in our bodies are direct reflections of where that thing fits in the spirit. For example, the body, in the Bible, there's many stories about people who had what they call stiff necks. These are people who were prideful. These are people who were rebellious. These are people who were disobedient. Stiff necks. If there's a neck issue, I would check and see if there's a pride issue. That would be the first place that I would check and see. I believe everything corresponds. And it doesn't necessarily, I say that to mean if there is no other problem, right? If there's no other problem, it's just in your neck, I would check that out because things are connected. So for example, you could have a gut issue, but actually what you have is like a hormonal imbalance, right? So if there's other things that are going on, you need to find the root of that thing, because that will point you to the root of what's actually needing to be changed, and to be, the word repent means to turn around. We think it means to cry, to say I'm sorry, and to have like a big apology. And that's not actually what it means at all. It actually means to look at the thing so differently that you turn around from it and go the opposite way from it, because you have a realization of what that thing is actually doing to you, to your life, to your bloodline, and you turn away from it and you go the other way. And so if there's no other things besides poor appetite, I would look at what you've been feeding yourself in the spirit. Okay? Starvation in your body usually speaks to starving in the spirit. So look and see what you've been feasting on. But anyway, I wanted to share this with you because you want to fight fire. You want to fight your family who is in need, and in a real emergency. You need to find inner rest every day. And if you can't do this, if you don't know how to do this, you're not ever going to change. You need to know how to make your inner world calm, make your inner world peaceful, make it a sanctuary, make it a place of refuge, so that when people come around you, all they sense is peace. Listen, when you carry this level of authority in the spirit, okay, when I'm peaceful all of the time, I'm going to go meet with the guardian ad litem. I'm meeting with a co-parenting counseling. Guess what? They come into my atmosphere of peace. They think clearly. They hear clearly. They write clearly. Their reports are in line with the truth. Why? Because that's my atmosphere. I've saturated myself into that atmosphere. So, starting in February, I'm running a 30-day reset, and I'm calling this an experience because I literally want to help you reconstruct the way you think about everything, the way you think about time management, the way that you think about your mind management, the way that you think about your spiritual growth and your spiritual disciplines. These things are all going to be covered in 30 days. You're going to receive a course manual, which takes you through step by step every single day. You're going to receive a bunch of recipes so that you can feed your body healthy food, healthy snacks, healthy smoothies, healthy juices. I use essential oils and stuff like that. So you're going to get recipes for that. You're going to get workouts for your body, but you're also going to understand, how do I apply all of this stuff to my identity? How do I figure out what my purpose is in the midst of all of this chaos? And how do I ensure that my spiritual growth is rooted? No matter what is going on outside of me, I'm always growing. Okay, lots of people think like, oh, I'm in a place of neutrality. There's no such thing. There is literally no such thing as being neutral. You are either growing or you're regressing. You're either progressing or digressing. Which is it? And you have to really take this seriously. You know, there is no such thing as being neutral. Like, oh, I'm not really growing, but I'm not really, going backwards. You're going backwards. If you don't know which one it is, you're going backwards. So this 30-day experience is to really help you take an inventory, an audit of your life, where these things maybe need to get shored up, like built up more, some things that maybe you never thought about doing. I'm going to have all types of exercises in it. And great news is that every day I'm doing a video to help walk you through this. Another thing that I wanted to add into this is a community aspect. I really want you to be able to connect with other people who are going through the same things, so that you can encourage each other, so that you can understand. I know sometimes you feel like you're the only one ever going through this stuff, and you're not. And just knowing, hey, this is something that somebody else is experiencing or has experienced in the past and they got through it, that can be so encouraging. And so if you want to, you can join the private Facebook group that I'm creating for this experience by itself, and you can connect with other people. If you don't want to get on Facebook, I understand. You will have every other aspect. I will send you your own username and login password onto my website, so that you can have access to everything else besides the community. So you get the daily videos, you get all of the things that I've been talking about in this video so far. It's so important that people understand that. I tell my clients two things. There's really only two rules to winning in court with a narcissist, okay? Or to moving on from the narcissist. You either win or lose in the spirit, and that's the truth. You're either going to win or lose this battle in the spirit. I don't care what is happening in the natural. I don't care how many false lies have been told about you. I don't care how many negative reports have been written about you. I don't care if nobody else believes what you're saying. It's either won or lost in the spirit, okay? And number two, you have not because you've asked not. Those are really the only two rules. These are really the only things that you need to know. But when you understand the depth of these things and know how to apply them, then everything else will come into order. Part of how much is it to join the group? Okay, good question. It's on sale right now. It's on my website, on sale right now. You can get it in the description of this video. It's for $300 for the month. When I launch it after February 1st, I'm going to run this every single 30 days. And by the way, there's enough stuff in here to take you throughout the entire year. It's just that the first 30 days are going to be guided. There's going to be an instructional video that comes with each 30 days, and you'll have lifetime access to all of this stuff. You can split it up into payments if you need to, or do whatever. But after the first, I'm leaving the price at $385. So it'll run every 30 days, but it's all inclusive, and it comes with everything that you would need for your entire body, your home, your spirit, and your soul. I want you to understand how to regulate your emotions, okay? Some of you get so upset and get so anxious when the narcissist even looks at you that you can't imagine crafting a response that's an appropriate response that you know the court is going to read, that is going to have repercussions on your custody situation. Learning mind management, learning emotional regulation is so important. And most people can never do that because what they think they have rooted in the spirit is actually not rooted, right? They have head knowledge about something, but they don't actually have it like in terms of a core belief. Your behaviors always tell me what you believe. I don't care what you say to me. I'm going to look at your behavior. Okay, I can see that you actually believe that. Listen, look at people who have fruit in their life, okay? They will look at the fruit that is coming from their life, because there's either good fruit or bad fruit, right? If somebody is telling you that they wake up early in the morning, that they're productive all day, blah, 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 but they have nothing to show for it, don't believe a single thing that they say, right? Your behavior tells me what you believe, not your mouth. So in this group, I want you to actually take everything that you think you believe and really analyze it. Do I actually believe this? And if I don't, do I want to believe it? Because if I do, what do I need to do? What do I need to, how do I need to process this so that it becomes so rooted inside of me that this actually becomes a behavior, a natural response to me? I don't really set an alarm, for example. I'm a morning person. I love the morning, so I get up pretty early. I get up around 3:45 every morning. But I'm a morning person, so my body doesn't need an alarm to tell me to wake up because I love it. So when you are in harmony with who you are, I know that I'm created that way, and I honor myself and I honor the one who created me when I do the things that are natural and best for my body and my lifestyle. So you need to know yourself that way. You need to know yourself. I'm also vegetarian. I'm not against people who eat meat, by the way. My parents, hunt and all that type of stuff. I grew up that way. But I know for my body, I'm best. I work best. I think best. I feel best when I'm vegetarian. And I've been vegetarian for a long time, since 2008. So for me, knowing yourself is such a reflection of the way that you know God, the way that you know how he created you. We should all know the thoughts that he had about us when he created us, and so many people don't. And so this group is going to teach you how to get into the counsel of the Lord, how to hear actually what he had in his heart. What you're fulfilling a dream by being here. That's why I know it's impossible for him to be disappointed in who you are. You're fulfilling a dream of his by being here. And as long as you're drawing breath, as long as you are drawing breath from the one, by the way, ruach, it means breath, spirit, it means breath. You are drawing breath from the one who wants to sustain you. If he didn't want you here anymore, he'd simply take your breath away, literally. It's not true. Those are all lies. This group is going to teach you how to get rid of those lies and start eating from healthy things. Besides the group, I wanted to give you the little thing that who was my support during my battle with the narc. Okay, and that's another thing. Like I had family and friends around me, but they did not have the insight, spiritually or otherwise, naturally in the legal system either, to understand what was happening. And if you've never heard me say this before, I started this based off of what I wish I had. So I didn't have somebody who could come and tell me, like, this is a spiritual issue. This is actually what's going on. And so I went through this whole process by learning all of it myself. And now that's what I do for the last 4 years. By the way, on the 22nd, this whole thing turns 4. My YouTube channel will be 3. So it's been a great 4 years, but anyway, it was bought with a price, right? All good things are. So anyway, I wanted to share with you about the fighting fire with fire. If you want your real need to be met, you have a real situation that needs an answer, you need to learn how to find rest every day. Find inner rest every day. I'm not talking about going to sleep and getting a nap. I'm talking about whatever you need to do to find inner peace. Soon on my podcast, by the way, if you're not subscribed to my podcast, I have a podcast that I do every Wednesday. You can call in. If in the link in this description of the video, you can click on it and it tells you about my podcast. There's a phone number you can call me every Wednesday and ask your questions and do this type of stuff. Anyway, I pre-recorded Is Narcissism a Mental Disorder? In the simplest terms, yes. So narcissistic personality disorder is a mental disorder. Again, nothing originates and nothing happens here. Nothing manifests itself in the natural realm that doesn't happen in the spirit first. So there's a lot of, that's a multi-layered question, but yes, it is considered a mental disorder here in the natural world. Anyway, I am releasing on my podcast probably next month a guided meditation so that you can kind of, I've said before, I do twice a day meditation. This will be something too that we cover in depth in my 30-day group, because I so believe in it. Honestly, it has changed so much about my life. I have so much more energy. I have so much more peace, clarity. It just keeps everything in alignment throughout the day by setting aside time to meditate every day. I'll be releasing a guided meditation on my podcast next month. So go subscribe to that if you want to hear that. If you want to be taught how to do meditation every day, join my 30-day program. Again, the link to that is in the description of this video. But I just really wanted to share with you guys what I had heard about, what I had heard from the conference, when I heard the Lord speaking to me, and specifically to you, for you. And I wanted to be able to share that with you guys. So thank you so much for joining me for this unscheduled live. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day, by the way. He's an amazing guy. I challenge you to go to find out something about his life that you didn't know beforehand. Him and I actually share a birthday. He's one of my favorite people. So go check that out. Go look into that. I challenge you to go research him and find out something you didn't know about him and his life. Never doubt that one person can affect everything, right? So I will talk to you guys later. I have a video coming out on this Friday that you are not going to want to miss. So make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already.